everyone. Thank you so much for joining Brady's Corner. I'm Brady, and this is my corner. We have a phenomenal guest today. We have Taylor Marquess, president of Riverwood Homes, also president of the Northwest Arkansas Home Builder Association. Welcome. Welcome, Taylor.
Hey, thank you for having me, Brady. Looking forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of things I want to dig into today. You want to start off first? Can you kind of introduce yourself and, your background and college and, how you ended up in the home building industry?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm Taylor Marquess here at Riverwood Homes, which is located in Northwest Arkansas. We're a single family residential home builder, only in this market, which serves really two counties, Washington and Benton County. And we do about 300 to 350 homes a year. Our primary focus is affordability. So I think about what we're going to talk about, I'll touch on a lot of things that are challenging affordability. But yeah, a little bit about myself. I went to Southwest Baptist University up in Missouri, got an international business major. Had no intention of ever doing anything in construction. My dad had been in construction off and on for about 20 years, and now going on 30 years. But so I grew up with it and never really had any interest in it. Went after college and worked for J.B. Hunt and worked there for a little around about a year. And around that time, I was getting my MBA, and Mark's CEO, who he had kind of his right-hand man, got diagnosed with terminal cancer. And so he came to me and said, hey, if you're going to jump in the industry, now's the time, because I'm going to need to bring someone in to hopefully help fill those shoes one day. Charlie was a great man who was Mark's CEO, and I actually got to work with him for a few years, and he was one of the more influential people in my life. So it was good that I got to spend that time with him. But started out as a junior superintendent, and then worked my way up to superintendent, then operations manager, director of construction, and now president of Riverwood Homes. So it's been a fun ride, and we're going on 8 years, and hopefully I'll be able to bring a little insight from the operations side of kind of what we're seeing out there in the market, and from the peers I have in the industry, kind of what they're seeing as well.
That's phenomenal. No, that reminds me of so many great stories of some other folks. I've, kind of their training methods on bringing people up. And, sorry to hear about Charlie. And just for everybody's edification, Marquess, he's the CEO of your company and your dad.
Yeah, that's correct.
And
so we have a fun relationship. It's we have a healthy relationship. I say we have a work relationship, then outside of work, we go back to the kind of the father-son relationship. So it's been really good, and it's worked well. We have some other family in the company, and we have our spats, but kind of become better because of them. And I understand where both of us are coming from. So,
and folks, trust me when I say this, it's during working hours, it is all business. These two gentlemen ask the toughest questions of each other and others, and hold everybody to high expectations like they hold themselves. And also, your sister is in the business as well, Bailey.
She is. So she's one of our top sales agents. You'll see her running around the office. She also has a new daughter, her first child. So she's getting to work from home a little bit more, but still selling tons of houses and really involved in everything we do here. So it's cool to have that. I tell people they're always like, well, how's that work? How's the family relationship? And we have a weird thing where I'm almost best friends basically with her husband, my brother-in-law, and my wife's best friends with Bailey. So we see each other a lot outside of work, which is weird to most people, but we wouldn't have it any other way.
No, that's great. And the communities that you're building in Northwest Arkansas, coming from my own personal experience and coming out, there's such a beautiful area, and it's one of the best kept secrets. In fact, we're starting to see signs pop up in Austin. Taylor, what were the signs saying?
So the sign said, "Do you wish you purchased a home in Austin 10 years ago?" And it says, "Introducing Northwest Arkansas." It's a very rapidly growing region. We have a lot of industry here with Walmart's headquarters here, Tyson's headquarters here, and JB Hunt's headquarters here, as well as a slew of vendors. Almost all your major vendors, Procter & Gamble, J&J, almost all those guys will have offices here just to service the Walmart account. The region's definitely getting some more notoriety than years past. I think Bloomberg just a month ago wrote an article about the next Austin and labeled this area as that.
And but separate from Austin, when the times that I've been there, I have not seen one piece of trash on the highway. It's really like a movie set community. It really is. It's pretty.
It's a really, outdoorsy community. We just hosted the mountain biking world championships, the UCI cyclocross world championships here a couple weeks ago. The Walton family has invested tons of money. Billions of dollars have been spent by Walmart and the Walton company just to kind of make this area what it is. And they've really taken a big step to making this a very healthy and outdoors friendly community. We have, I think they said, like more mountain bike trails per capita than anywhere else in the nation, and they definitely have invested a lot in the quality of life here, and that's kind of what helped make this place, as well as just the natural beauty of Arkansas. And then Fayetteville's kind of got its own feel with the university, the state's flagship university here. So it creates a cool culture.
Absolutely. Those are some good fundamentals to have behind it. And you and I were just talking some numbers on homes. You mentioned 350 homes per year, but it looks like this year you're on a much better clip than that even.
That's the goal. Yeah, that's definitely the goal. I project us to hit around 340, 350, kind of what we're going to talk about on the supply chain side might challenge that. But definitely we have aspirations to get closer to 400. It's just going to be if the market environment allows us to. And unfortunately, a lot of that's not due to demand. Demand's there for as many houses as we want to build almost, but the supply chain is definitely going to challenge that.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Like, what is the biggest constraint right now? Is it labor? Is it lumber? What is the biggest constraint right now for y'all?
Yeah, so last year the biggest constraint was definitely lumber. You saw the market go up and down, and we had the unfortunate circumstance of the most houses that we started were at the height of the lumber market, so we definitely took a hit on our margins, and it definitely hurt us from an overall operating income perspective. But that's not the case this year. This year we have been able to partner with some good companies and get some longer lumber locks as far out as 90 days, which helps us control costs a lot better. And we kind of know that the lumber market's going to be high most of the year. Anybody that tells you they can predict though out 2 months of what the lumber market's going to do right now, I wouldn't listen too much to what they have to say, because it's pretty volatile. And it kind of just moves with emotions, just like most of the market's doing right now. But our biggest problem right now is definitely the labor market. That's the biggest cost increase we've seen to start the year and the end of last year. You're starting to see costs rising where, I've heard builders that were paying guys $350 a square foot to start 2020 on framing labor, and they're paying north of $7 for the same house now. And you're seeing that not just, it's almost across the board. Any of your labor prices have just gone up quite a bit, and a lot of that's attributed to the schools kind of turning away from the trades and pushing everybody towards college. It's a hard thing to fix, and there's a lot of guys that have a lot of good ideas about fixing it, but college isn't for everybody, and you can make a lot of money in the trades. And I think to fix this problem, it's going to take a lot more than just the economy slowing down. I think you just don't have the young skilled guys in the trade force anymore.
So how are y'all combating that right now with your trades?
Yeah, so I mean, it's forced us. I was talking to someone about this last week. It lets you see what companies are flexible and forward thinking and doing all they can to not disrupt their own supply chain of product. And it's forced us to kind of become creative in how we manage our trade base and how we pay our trade base, how we hire our trade base. You're having to do things you previously haven't had to do. We're a production builder, so we're definitely not the highest payer in the market. But what we do is if we can help out a guy and he needs to buy some tools here or there, we front him a check for that. We do framing bonuses. If you stay on with us for X amount of houses, we'll flip you a bonus. Just to show that appreciation that we're here for the long term. We're not going to run out of lots and houses to build unless the economy makes us. We're obviously going to be smart with kind of what our sales are doing. But for 2022, we basically booked out all the sales that we're going to have for the year, so we can tell those guys, hey, you can expect this many houses from us per month. That allows us to be more competitive in our labor market, as well as kind of show them why there's a benefit, kind of the volume versus the overall price of the home. If you can frame 2 or 3 houses a week instead of 1, I can show you can make more money doing that. It's just more efficient. So some of it's educating the trades, and some of it's just being more flexible on our side. You want to definitely run off PO systems and stay stringent to your pay, how you pay, whether you're every 2 weeks, every month, or however you're paying most of your trades. But sometimes the market doesn't let you do that. And we've had to make exceptions to not affect our cycle times.
So when you say we have to be flexible with them, you're not joking. I mean, you really have to get creative and build a relationship there. Like, unlike, a lot of folks is, I'm guessing it's, one trade or another kind of commoditized in the past. We're really, you are building personal relationships with these firms.
Exactly. And that's what I tell our director of construction is really good. And he's one of the kind of more personable guys you'll meet. He's very good at building relationships with the trades and caring about their well-being, not just them as one of our subcontractors, but them as a person. And so investing in their lives, finding out what's going on with their kids, and just almost treating them like a coworker. I mean, that's because at the end of the day, that's what they are. I mean, they may not work for Riverwood Homes, but they're as much a coworker to us as a guy that's an office down from me, because they're helping us provide the product we do for our customers. So really showing that care and that just having them be open with us. If they're gonna leave to another builder for another nickel or another dime, just talk to us. Let us. I mean, we might not do it, and sometimes we might, but we want to have those conversations that don't just go down the street as soon as you finish the job without telling us. We try to. The big thing right now is retention. The guys you got, you want to keep on the job site, and so any way we can do that, we try to. And sometimes that's difficult here in the office, but we don't want to really affect our cycle time. And we've seen ours tick up, but that's more supply chain issues than labor.
I love it. No, that's great advice. And then, absent, if we were to take out labor as a constraint. Looking further or right next on the supply chain, what's been some of the biggest, maybe top two items that have been the biggest that maybe it will be straightened out over the next year or so that you're dealing with?
Yeah, I would say the top two, a lot of that's going to have to do with product availability. I do think eventually that's going to get better. And that also drives part of the labor problem. Say you have a house that the framers frame, but the windows don't show up. Well, that means one day down the road, those framers are going to have to come back. So they're going to have to stop a job that they're doing and go back to that job to install those windows. I think that eventually will improve as a lot of these manufacturers kind of switch to automation and kind of more a less labor intensive process to building the products. Just because labor is so tight, they're going to do what they have to do to provide that product. And so I think you'll see that slowly start to improve. And once that improves, that's going to help the labor side of things as well, because if all the products there when they're there framing the house or whatever part of the construction process that trade's doing, if all the products there, that means that they can finish that job and move on to the next without having to come back and install or change something that wasn't there when they were there initially. So that's a twofold thing. The second thing I would say that we will see improved is more price stability. I think eventually you're going to see things kind of settle. I don't think they're going to go down, but I think you'll see them settle where they're at, and we won't have these giant fluctuations. I think that's a hope right now. I mean, historically things have done that, but we'll see. A lot of things have surprised me these last couple of years.
And, if I could ask you to break out your crystal ball for a little bit and looking at, even in the near term, they're talking about interest rates rising. I think that's almost a guarantee. Looking at, everything internationally and inflation and whatnot, what impact do you think that's going to have on single family versus multifamily? And does that change anything about the way Riverwood Homes is doing business?
Yeah, so we're, I mean, it definitely will. We build for the masses. We definitely our products on the affordable spectrum. We're big believers in building for your school teachers, your police officers, your nurses, and your workforce, your backbone behind your community. What that will do though is every time a rate tick happens or we have to raise prices, that prices people out of the market. There's statistics out there, and you can look it up for each local market that you're in. But every $1,000 you go up, that prices out hundreds of people, just that weren't able to afford that. So same thing when interest rates is every percentage point that interest rate goes up or slowly ticks up. I mean, that's just going to start pricing people out or limit the size of the house they can build. Demand's definitely there, but it's going to limit the amount of, eventually as prices go up, that limits the amount of people that can buy that product. So slowly, we're going to keep pricing people out of this market. And so I think you'll start seeing that on the upper end of the market, those high price points, you're going to start seeing those slow down. And when you start seeing that, it's just a trickle down effect. But right now, I would say 2022 is going to be a strong year for almost everybody, barring a World War III or something crazy like that happening, that just absolutely obliterates the market or something. But we, like I said, we're pretty much contracted out through the end of the year, so we kind of know what our backlog is. So it's going to be a strong year for us, as it will for most builders. 2023 is going to be interesting because depending on what interest rates do, and if this crazy hyperinflation that we're in and the overall cost it takes to build a home just continues to rise. Like I said, every $1,000 you're just pricing more people out. So unfortunately, wage growth I don't think is keeping up with housing inflation. So it's got to hit a ceiling eventually. But right now we're trying to just be smart with where we develop, what we develop, and what we build. And I think a lot of builders are doing the same thing. So you're seeing smaller product come to market, more affordable product come to market, and builders are kind of rethinking how to still build affordable homes, and do that for your everyday buyer. And so that's maybe product substitutions. That might be a denser product. That might be a more creative product. I walked through some houses that were some really cool fourplex townhomes that, man, they got really creative and maximized their footprint, and were able to get a very affordable product to their market that you just don't see in some of these markets. So I think it's definitely helped with creativity for an industry that kind of likes to do things the same way a lot of times.
No, thank you so much for that. That is amazing. And, talking about product change ups, I know that's something you're always keeping an eye on, especially with supply chain, and staying creative there. So Taylor, thank you so much for your time today. That's all the time we have for today, everybody. Thank you for joining. Taylor, this is phenomenal information. I know everybody's going to love it. Thank you for making the time, and everybody make sure to like and subscribe Brady's Corner, and I look forward to joining you next time.